All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order, and I'd like to add an executive session to the end of our meeting. I don't anticipate any decisions being made. And with that, we have the minutes of April 7th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of April 7th.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, we have warrants 22 and the payroll 22P.
I'll make a motion to approve bills for payment warrants 22 and 22P.
I'll second it.
That.
Okay, great. Any discussion? Warrant 22 is for a total of $19,308.86. And of that, just over 3,000 went to the Wyndham Solid Waste Management District quarterly payment. We paid the monthly sheriff's bill, or we will. We had payroll, tax transfers. We had our monthly rescue bill. And for the highway department, there were purchases of salt, fuel, and parts. So any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have some visitors. Anyone like to, this is a time when you can bring something up that's not already on the agenda. Anyone have any comments or questions? Jean? No?
No, I'm just here.
Okay, great. Good. It's always good to have you here, Jean. And the Leahys, are they? Anything they'd like to? Okay, well, we'll go.
They look like
Our initial interest
Sorry.
in stopping in was we live at the bottom of Dummerston Station Road, and
Okay.
everything kind of drains into our
All right,
driveway.
we're gonna get to that. That's the next item on our agenda. So
Okay.
hold
I'll hold
on
them.
just a minute and we'll get our road foreman here. So next on our agenda is road foreman's report, and we have the complaint about drainage at the end of Dummerston Station Road. So.
Okay. Would you like me to start, Zeke?
Sure. This is
Okay.
Lee Chamberlain, our road foreman. Go ahead. Lee.
I'm hoping everyone got the email that I sent out. And I hope everyone could understand what I was trying to say. Right now, there's an existing culvert, which we have not changed. It's been there for a number of years, which comes from the cornfield, which is north of Dummerston Station Road, crosses the road, and dumps onto that property. And then it goes through a kind of a wettish area, which isn't necessarily wet all the time, and then through a culvert on their driveway, and then out through the field. So the only thing that's really in the town right away is our culvert and where we cleaned our culvert out. And right now, I did go down to refresh my memory and all that of it the other day, and the culvert was cleaned out. Or right now, the culvert, it's only dug down as deep as the bottom of the culvert, so it's not. There's no real like a pocket below the culvert. It's just flush with the bottom of the culvert. There is a probably a 8 by 10, 10 by 10 area that is dug maybe a foot below grade, maybe 3 inches, kind of varies in different spots. And the water does pool up, to that depth before it either filters into the ground or runs towards their driveway culvert. In looking at it without getting the transit out, it looks like their driveway culvert is higher than the road culvert. So there's no real place for the water to go. It has to pull up before it goes through their driveway culvert. Their driveway was put in, I'm not sure, I would say maybe 12 years ago, maybe the house was built. So it is a fairly new driveway and culvert. So in the email, I was trying to explain if we wanted to drain that and get the water to run totally correctly, they would need to lower their culvert down and then you know, put a proper ditch across their property. Is this something that we want to get involved with? I'm not sure, because it is totally out of the right of way. The road culvert's been there. It's been at that height. It hasn't been changed. It hasn't been altered. It's just a matter of, right, there's no place for the water to go. It's pretty flat going across there. Okay.
So I've got a question for you, Lee.
Yep.
When you say the town culvert, does it go under the road to drain this area into the cornfield?
Right. It actually takes the water from the cornfield and drains it south across the road onto their property. They live right across from the.
Right. No, I took a ride. Yeah, I took a ride down.
Okay.
I couldn't. Yeah. So there is a town. When I went, it was Friday afternoon. It was pouring rain, and there was a lot of water sitting there.
A lot of water sitting
in the hole. That as you're looking from Dummerston Station Road up their driveway to the right of their driveway, there was quite an area of water.
Yes, that's because of their driveway culvert isn't low enough.
When you say low enough, do you mean depth-wise, or is it too okay?
Yes,
It's not that it's too high up on the driveway. Is it at the end of the driveway?
No, it's probably in the. I'm not sure, but I think it's in the proper position on the driveway. It's just a matter of the depth. You know, it's
Okay.
Okay.
So if the culvert at the end of their driveway was lower, depth-wise, it would pick up that water and drain it on the left side of their driveway?
It would drain it towards the interstate.
Towards the interstate, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, how's that sound to you?
Our thought was, I was trying to find a way to push our culvert closer to the road and drop it down to where it needs to be. I just didn't know what we could do to just kind of get it trenched from where the pit is now across, because I'll move our culvert to the front of the driveway and drop it down, so that way it's level, and then dump everything on the far side of our driveway, so that way it's not pooling as much like in the front of our house. And that's basically why we're here, is trying to figure out a amicable way to move the culvert without creating a nuisance down the road for anyone else.
Okay, how's that sound to you, Lee?
Yes, I do understand what he's saying. I was just trying to think of where that drainage ditch on the east side of their driveway is. As far as if the culvert was closer to the road, would you have to put a ditch from?
Yep.
I think you would, but
Yep,
from the
on the
outlet of
farther
the
side,
culvert,
yep.
yeah, to the south to get back into the other ditch.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just our concern is with that pit right now, we have two small children, and it gets pretty deep. And they don't know how to swim just yet. And when it does get, saturated with water, it turns into this mucky suction, and it's just not a safe way of draining, which is our concern. So like my husband said, just trying to figure out a way that we can work together to kind of eliminate this this pool of water.
Okay, so Lee, their plan sounds okay to you?
Right, depending on the, as far as it's a lot of, or pretty much all that would be out of the right of way. So I haven't really researched a lot of that, but yeah, I mean, I think if they own the property on both sides of their driveway, and maybe 20 feet to the east of their driveway where they're going to have to install a ditch, or if they get permission from the neighbor, then that's it might be possible, right, without doing different grades on it. I think that's the way to do it, is to lower their driveway culvert either in the spot that it's at, or if they can move it, that would be fine too.
Okay. Anybody have any other thoughts or comments or questions?
Yeah, as long as we can do.
Right.
Yeah, so it sounds like you can go ahead and do this.
Okay, perfect.
Anyone have any other thoughts? Okay, great. Well, I hope that takes care of it.
And see, I don't mind going down there with the transit and helping them and seeing if the grade will actually work.
Okay,
it's just a matter of how much us working outside of the right of way would be
Right.
another story.
Yeah, I think going down with the transit and providing a little of your expertise in this matter would be helpful, Lee. And,
Okay.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah. So
Yeah, anytime you want to do it, just give the garage a call, and I'll do my best to make time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Great. Good luck with it.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah. Good. Thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So, Lee, if anything else on that? Anyone have any thoughts? Okay. Lee's, you're looking for another member of the road crew. How are you doing?
Okay. Yeah, we're still searching. We did. I talked to Lori today and Zeke, and we're going to end up putting it into the reformer. There's been, I would say, around 5 applicants, and right, the success hasn't been great just yet, but there are potential. So, but we figure we'd get a bigger pool of applicants to choose from, and we figured the next step was to put it in the Brattleboro reformer.
Okay. Any comments or thoughts from members?
So it's going in this Saturday's reformer, or did I read that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Well, good. I hope that works out, Lee.
Right. So I do have just a few other little things that we've been doing.
Okay.
A little bit of an update on Middle Road, the structures that people have been cutting the corner and driving off the edge type thing. I'm getting a couple prices for guardrails. One person has sent back the price. The other person I'm hoping to meet with next week to get a price. Hoping to look at the budget come, the end of May, maybe somewhere in there, and seeing if we do have the money. We have to make sure when we put up the band rail that the road is actually wide enough there too. So that's going to take some measuring. I'm hoping to get Mark Pickering from the state of Vermont, AOT, to come down and look at it and see what his thoughts are. And so we're just in that stage right now. But that's the update on that.
All right. Well, it sounds good, Lee. I like the idea of Mark Pickering coming and taking a look. And so I think that's good.
Okay. And then, so we've been, of course, grading and raking the roads, trying to get them shaped back up from the mud season. And then we graded up high towards Sunset Lake, and 2 days later we get 8 inches of snow. So yeah, it's been that way. And then we have Putney helped us, and we restocked our sand pile. So we have that pretty much complete for next year. So that's done. Now we're going to start helping Putney haul their sand to their shop to restock theirs. Yeah, and that's basically it besides maintenance stuff.
Okay. Any questions for Lee? Okay. Thanks, Lee.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Thanks, Lee.
Have a good night.
Yeah, bye.
Okay. Is there anything under correspondence for information that you'd like to go over?
Just a note under the, we got the zoning administrator's first quarter report,
Yep.
and he put a note in there again about DRB members, that we're very short on members. And that if anybody's interested in serving on the DRB, to get a hold of one of the members, it's in the front of the town report. We're gonna be, they're worried about the numbers are gonna get too low for a quorum at some point here.
Right.
So there's a plea out there to any resident that might be interested in the DRB.
Good. Okay. Great. That's traditionally a very convivial group of townspeople with an annual holiday party, as I understand. So it's the committee to join if you're going to be on committee here. So anything else under correspondence for information? Well, then that would bring us to new business. And so there's apparently new guidance for public meetings. And Terry, I think you know about this.
Yeah, I sent it around to you guys to look at for the May 1st, the new Vermont Forward Plan, which would outline how we could have a public meeting, but we would still have to provide a Zoom link in, and spacing would be another issue. And the question, I guess the real question that hasn't even been answered is whether we could even ask a person if they're unvaccinated or not. So there's so much non-guidance yet as how we would hold a public meeting. I think at this point, unless anybody has any other thoughts, we probably just would be better off hanging on to Zoom for a little bit longer. But I'm up for suggestions.
Any thoughts? Rebecca?
That seems reasonable. It's like if we maybe if we just wait a bit longer, there will be more information about just getting some more clarity. So maybe just stay as we are and, you know, wait a few weeks and see if we get any new information.
Maria?
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. We should wait for more guidance.
yeah, that's my feeling too. So,
We'll keep zooming.
yep, okay. Well, we're getting pretty used to it.
We are.
All right, thanks for keeping up on that, Terry.
No problem.
Let's see. Next on the agenda, an animal neglect complaint. We got an email and some photos of from a person concerned about the welfare of some horses. And Terry and I got permission of the property owner and visited with these horses, and we're concerned enough that we scheduled an appointment with a veterinarian from the New Hampshire, Vermont vet clinic to come out and take a look. And he came out yesterday, and we walked to where the paddock had been and found that the paddock was no longer there and the horses nowhere to be seen. So they have been moved. And it'd be nice to think that they have gone on to greener pastures, but we simply don't know at this point. So that's where that complaint stands right now. So any questions about that, or? Okay. I think this one goes back to Terry, the Zoom town account meeting recordings.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, we're all set now. I've got it worked out with Charlotte. When our cloud gets too big on the Zoom, we'll have her download to a hard disk, put it in the vault, and we'll just keep it clean that way so we don't have to pay the extra. So we're all set for tonight. Everything's cleaned out.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
moving right ahead.
all right, well, good. So, so public access to recordings will be available.
Great.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
It'll be at the town office.
Excellent. Let's see, there is no update on the next one, the Board of Health rental housing issue update. Nothing new on that front, but I'll let you know if anything comes down on that. With that, who's going to do the honors for this one?
I'll make a motion that we recess the meeting and convene as the Liquor Control Board.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, here we are as the Liquor Control Board. And who has the information on this? I think Terry, you do?
I do.
Okay.
Yes, it's the license renewal application for the Scott Farm. Yeah, just the yearly renewal.
Okay. So we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2021 liquor license renewal for the Scott Farm.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm going to abstain on that one. So now we can leave as the Liquor Commission.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we adjourn as the Liquor Control Board and reconvene the regular meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, here we are back as the Select Board. So this is our annual. We have to, let's see, the Homestead Declarations. Everyone is to fill out when they do their taxes, their state taxes. if you do not file those, there have been times in the past when a penalty has been assessed, and there have been times in the past when we have not imposed any late penalty fees. And I think Jean would like to speak to this. Perhaps?
Well, thank you, Dee. I really don't have much to say in regard to the decision that you make, but I wrote that in the email. I think there's only been one time that you voted to have the penalties. And I know that that was not very amicable with all the property owners. And I just feel that you need to use your good judgment to make that decision. I know that every time I talk with Chris from Nemrick, he says, you know, that money is supposed to be for the town for all the time that you put into overseeing the program. And I just say, well, this is the way the select board voted, and that's the end of it. So, but it's your decision, and I know you'll make the right one.
Okay. Thank you for that confidence.
Thanks.
Let's see. So I've been in the board when we did assess a penalty, and obviously when we haven't assessed a penalty. I believe the listers and treasurer and town clerk came to us and told us that we were essentially penalizing the people that did file late and actually did file and like we would like them to, were being penalized. And so it was a disincentive to come forward and actually file if they were late. So from that point on, we haven't been assessing a penalty. And the state is actually the one who is supposed to police this and find the people who are filing as non-residents who are actually residents. It's not, as I understand it, up to the town to enforce that or police that. And the state apparently is way behind in doing this.
You're correct.
Okay. So we have to decide to penalize or not penalize. That's the question. And I'll make a motion that we do not assess a penalty on late filers.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, so for the next year, we've chosen not to impose a late penalty fee for late filed Vermont Homestead Declarations for 2021. Are you okay with that, Jean?
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay. You happy with that vote?
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, great. Okay. Ready to move on. Apparently we have to clarify some appointments that we previously made to the Deerfield Valley Communications Union District. I guess perhaps we had the acronym wrong. Is that what it was?
Yes. So I'll make a motion that we appoint Eric Lineback as the town's representative and Hector Galbraith as an alternate representative to the Deerfield Valley Communications Union District. And this is to clarify a previous appointment.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. And
So
then,
that paperwork, just to clarify it too, that paperwork did get sent out to Deerfield Valley Communications for the original one we did.
Yes, apparently, because the minutes used an acronym that,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
the initials weren't quite right. They
Yeah.
wanted us to go back and cross the Ts and dot the
Got
Is,
it. Yes,
which we've done.
we've done it.
Great. Now we have, there's another alternate position that's open to the Deerfield Valley Communications Union District. And we received a letter from, let's see,
David Evans?
David Evans.
Dave Evans.
Yep. He'd like to fill that role and sent us a letter to that effect. What would you like to do?
Well, I don't know him personally. He seems qualified based on his letter. I mean, we don't have a problem not meeting him or interviewing him. Make a motion to add David Evans as an alternate to the Deerfield Valley Communications Union District.
I'll second it.
Great. Okay, any discussion? Okay, I think as this is an annual appointment, and he's the, essentially, I think this would be the second alternate. I think we're pretty safe. He seems like a reasonable fellow and qualified for this.
Yes.
So I think we could be, appoint him with some degree of confidence.
Yeah, and he said he zoomed in with Eric and Hector about the project and everything. So he sounds like he's pretty much up to, up to snuff with what's going on.
Right. Okay, great. So we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor of appointing David Evans to this alternate appointment?
Aye.
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 Okay, great. I'll let him know that he's gotten a nod from the board.
Okay, and I will fill out the proper paperwork and mail it.
To the Deerfield Valley Communications Union District.
Yes, I will. It has to
great.
go by snail mail, so.
Right, good.
Okay,
Great.
I will do that.
Is there any other new business that you'd like to bring up today? How's the progress on the animal control ordinance coming along?
So I have received copies of, I think it's Putney, Westminster, and is it Marlboro? I want to say.
Newfane?
I received. Is that who it was, Terry?
Yeah, Newfane, I think you asked, yep.
Oh, Newfane, sorry. I've received copies of their town ordinances, and Terry and I are going to set up a meeting together to review them and figure out our plan forward for updating ours.
Oh, great. Good. Nice to know that that's going forward. Great. So I need some help on this next one. We're going to
Okay,
go into an executive session for a personnel issue, and no decisions will be coming out of that.
okay.
Okay. So I'll move that we go into executive session as provided in Vermont Statute Title 1, Chapter 5, Subsection 2, 313A, and I believe number 1 is, I'm looking at my list here. Yes, number 1 is the person to discuss a personnel issue.
I'll second that.
Okay. I don't know why I can't remember that off the top of my head, but any discussion? Okay.
Okay, now.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. So Terry, if you can,
Okay.
so we're back in our regular session, and if there's no other new business, then we could have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a
I'll make-
motion. Go ahead, Maria.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay, very good. Thank you, everyone.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah.
thanks.
We'll see you in 2
Have a
weeks.
good night.